Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this video I'm going to be giving a project walkthrough that gives a summary of the ATP Tour 2022 season, which was last year. And so it's a pretty simple project that's completely for beginners, and I feel like doing these kinds of mini projects is really helpful in learning Excel because you get to use all the little features and all the cool things inside of Excel while you're building the project. And so in this video, while I'm building this project, I'm gonna show you how you can add borders to your cells, how you can add color to your cells and make it look cooler, and things like that. And so yeah, right here is on my screen over here. This is the final result of what you're going to be building. And so in the end of this video, I'm going to be providing you challenge ideas so that you can you shouldn't just copy what I'm doing. You should also try to add some new things into the project on your own. And so yeah, so let's get right into the project. I'm going to show you the blank sheet now. Actually, before we dive right into the project, I just want to thank Jeff SACKMANN for making the data set that I'm using right now. And he posted a lot of data sets on the tennis matches from all the way down to the 1960s and all the way to present, which is really impressive and probably took him a lot of time, so that's really cool. And yeah, so we're not going to be doing all of these years. We're just going to be doing the most recent one, the 2022 one. We're not going to do 2023 because it's still only 1 month into the year, so we're just going to do 2022. And so I'm going to provide the link to this data in the description below so you could download it there. But to download it, you have to click on, you find the 2022 CSV. It's called ATP Matches 2022. You click on that, and then after that you have to click on the raw button, and then after that you right click it, and then you click save as, and then you save it to your computer, and then you could analyze it from there. But I already downloaded it, so I'm gonna go to the blank sheet right now. Alright, so I've downloaded the data set into Excel, and so after you've done that, it should look something like this. And make sure to convert the Excel file into the Excel workbook type. And so it should have the .xlsx, the ending. You don't want to edit it as a CSV file because you might run into some issues. And so yeah, let's get started now. And so I'm gonna first off create another sheet, because I'm gonna make another sheet to show the results and the summary. And I'm gonna rename these sheets because I don't like how it's just sheet 1, sheet 3. And so I'm gonna call this original data 2022 or something like that. You can do whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna call the sheet 3 summary. And so yeah, I'm gonna create the title of the summary page. And so I'm gonna say ATP Tour, and so it's the 2022 season summary, like that. And so now we need to, I'm gonna make this a bit bigger because it's kind of small right now, and I want this to be a bit bigger because it's the title font or whatever. And then I'll just do like that. I'll make changes to it later, but I think that's good for now. And like looking at this data, I kind of want to see like the total number of matches based on the surface. And so in pro tennis, there's 3 kinds of surfaces. There's a hard court, clay court, grass court. And so I want to do I want to count up all the matches based on the surface type. And so here's how it's going to look like. I'll say hard court, and then I'll say here I'll say clay court, and then after that I'll do grass court, like so. And so to get the count of each kind of surface, I'm going to use the COUNTIF function that's built into Excel. And so the COUNTIF function basically counts all the rows based on a certain condition. And so when you do a function, you have to get your data reference. So you go to this sheet over here, and then you go to the top, and then because we're counting the number of rows based on the surface type, I'm going to click on C2, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control Shift and then the downward key to get everything inside that. And so I'm going to click Enter, and it's going to say I provide too few arguments. And so I click OK, and then I'll edit it. I'll add a comma, and then the second argument is the criteria. So it's like the condition. And so in this case, the condition is that I want the surface to be hard. So I'm going to put it in double quotes. I'm going to say hard, and then close parenthesis, and then enter. And so it says there's 1,759 matches played on the hard surface. And so that's cool. But now we need to repeat that for the clay and the grass one. And so I'm just gonna copy and paste this. So I'll go into the formula bar over here, and then highlight Control C, then I'll do Control V, but then I'm gonna change this to clay. So 827, and now we do that again, Control V, and then change this to the condition to grass. It saves a lot of time, because like I don't want to go back and forth and do the same thing for the clay and grass one. It's a lot easier if I just copy and paste it. And so I also kind of want to get the total number of matches. So I want to add all of these up. So here's what I mean by that. Here's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna say total matches, and then I'm gonna do the Autosum feature. So to automatically sum of values, you have to hold your Alt key and the equals key at the same time, and then you click Enter, and then it gets you the sum of the values. It's pretty neat. Okay, now I want to, if I look back in the original data set, I can see, there's stats on the winners, which are represented by, the W underscore over here. And then there's stats on the losers, the losing player of the match, which is represented by, the L and then the underscore. And so I'm thinking of getting some information on the winning and the losing player, and then I'm gonna make a table based on the surface type. I'm gonna make a two-way table. So first off, I'm gonna create another sheet called hard court table. Then so I'm gonna do this, and then I'll talk after I do it. So alright, so what you just saw me do there, I basically just copied this whole table and I pasted it into this one, and then I quickly formatted it as a table, and I chose like a color. Any color works, it doesn't really matter. And so you might be wondering, like, why did you do this? Like, what's the point of copying and pasting to another one? Well, I did this because I want to filter it, because if I format it as a table, I get these little drop down arrows over here. And so what that lets you do is it lets you filter data out. And so it says that everything is showing in the surface, but I only want to show the hardcore. I only want to show all the information on the hardcore surface. And so I'm going to check this box, and then I'm going to check on the hard box. And then it's only going to show values with the surface type of hard. It's pretty cool. It's like, it basically filters it out for you really quickly. And so I'm going to do that with the other surface types. So there's the clay surface and then the grass surface. So I'm going to create a different sheet for each type of surface. So you could follow along what I'm doing over here. So you just do Control A, Control C, and then click on A1, and then you do Control V, and then format as table, and then you could choose any color. And then you click on clay, because this is the clay table. And so, yeah, we did it. We filtered the clay court. That's cool. And then moving on to the next one, it's grass court. I'll call it grass court table. You can call it whatever you want. And then I'm gonna go up here and Control A. I'm doing the same thing basically. Control A, Control C, and then go over here, go to the A1 cell and do Control V, and then format as table again. Okay, and then grass, then okay, and then so yeah, we basically just filtered out the data by the surface type. And so now I'm gonna make in my summary page over here, I'm gonna make a two-way table based on the winning and the losing player. And so what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of creating a two-way table on the average number of aces, the average number of double faults, and the average service games won. And so let me try and find those columns real quick. Somewhere over here. Oh yeah, here. Okay, so it says this is for the winning player, so it shows the aces that the winning player made and the double faults. And then if I keep scrolling, this column shows the number of service games that the winner won. So like I'm gonna go to the summary page. I'm gonna say surface, and then average aces, average double faults, then let's say average service games won, like that. And so you can see that the information in the cells, it's going underneath like this one. And so if you want to show everything, here's like a cool thing you could do. You could hover between the columns and then you just double click it and it maximizes the space, which is pretty cool. And then so I'm gonna do the same for this one because I don't see everything, like it gets like cut off. So I'm gonna do that, like a quick tip. And then now I'm gonna, the different surfaces, the hard, clay, and the grass one. And so now I'm gonna go to I'm gonna work on the hard surface core first. So I'm gonna go to the hardcore table. Then, oh wait, sorry, no, I have to go here and then I have to create a function. Use the average function because I'm taking the average of all the values in the column. So I'm gonna go to the hardcore table and then find the aces, which is over here. And then I do Control Shift, down arrow key, enter. And that gives you the average number of aces. And it's in a really long decimal form, but we're gonna make it look neater later. So I'm gonna do the same for the double faults. I'm gonna do equals average and then equals average, and then I'm gonna do go hardcore table, then go double faults. It's like a really repetitive task. So average and then go to hardcore table again, and you find that column service games right here. There. Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing for clay and grass. And so this is getting kind of tedious and boring for you guys, so I'm gonna cut this out, and then when I'm done, I'll show you guys what I got. Okay, so I'm done filling out this table, and so I'm gonna get rid of these like ugly decimals. It's like really long, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight everything, and then you go to in the home ribbon below like this general box. You can see there's like a little arrow that's pointing to the right. So you want to click on that to get rid of the decimal places. And I'm gonna, like, you could do whatever you want, but I'm gonna round it to the nearest 100th place. You could do whatever you want, but that's just my preference. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. But I want to get, it says like there's some sort of error here. I don't know what that's about because we calculated this formula correctly. So I'm just gonna ignore that by highlighting everything in like the green triangles, and I'm gonna click the warning button and I'll say ignore error. And so that looks a lot better. And so I'll style this later, but I'm gonna move this down by a row because I want to specify that this data is for the winning players of the match. So I'll say like winner, and then I'll make it bold and make it a bit bigger. So okay, that looks better. And then so I'll do the same for the loser category, the losing player of the match. And then I want to format the same way as this one. So what I'm going to do is I click on that, then I click on Format Painter, and then I click on the cell that I want to format. So I click on the loser cell and it automatically does it. That's my favorite feature in Excel, the Format Painter. It's like really cool how like it changes the design of the cell quickly. And so yeah, let's fill this thing out for the losing player. So we basically did the exact same thing that we did over here, but instead now we have to go to instead of looking at the winners the winner stats, we have to go to the loser stats, which is over here. And so I'll do surface, same thing I'll do. Actually, I'll just copy and paste this, makes it a lot easier. And then hard, clay, and then grass. And then, like similar to last time, I'm gonna fill out this first row for you, but then after that I'll stop talking and I'll cut it out, and then I'll show you all the results that I got when I'm done filling it out, because it's a pretty tedious process. So for the first row, I'll say average, and then go to the hardcore table, go to the loser aces, Control Shift down arrow key, and then enter. And you do the same thing for double faults and surface games. So average, and then hardcore table, click on the column, double faults, Control Shift down arrow, and then enter. And do the same thing again. This time it's for the service games. Control Shift down arrow, enter. And so that's what I did the first row. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I'll show you what I got once I'm done. Alright, so I just finished filling in everything, and so hopefully you got the same numbers as me. And I'm gonna get rid of the error by clicking on this and click ignore error. And I actually need to remove the error for these ones here. I think it appeared again for some reason. I don't know why. And then so yeah, that looks good. And then I'm gonna round these numbers to the nearest hundredths by clicking on decrease decimal a couple of times. And so yeah, that looks a lot cleaner and a lot easier to look at. And so yeah, we got the winner, loser. That's looking really good. But another thing I want to know is let me scroll up here. I want to know like the average time that each match takes based on the surface type. Cause like some matches are like really long in tennis, some matches are like really short. Depends on how close it is, and so it's kind of interesting to see like how the length of the match differs between the different types of surfaces. Like I think it's kind of cool to see that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say the length of match, and then I'll say the surface, because we're comparing about a surface, right? And then I want to get the average time, which is in minutes, like that. And then there's three surfaces: hard, clay, grass. And then the hard court, if I scroll up, I need to find that where that is. It's called minutes somewhere. Okay, I found it here. It's in column T. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the summary page. I'm gonna say equals average, and then go to hardcore table, highlight this, and Control Shift downward arrow key, and then enter. And I do the same for the clay court. Clay court, I need to find that. It's here. Control Shift downward arrow key, and then backspace, or no, enter. And then I do the same for the grass court. It's a pretty tedious process. Okay, wait, where is that? Oh wait, here it is. Minutes. And then Control Shift down. Oh, it looks like there's empty cells, so I'm gonna have to keep clicking a few times to highlight everything. And so yeah, now I click enter, and then I'm gonna ignore these errors, and I'm gonna format the same way I did here. So do format painter, and click on that, and automatically changes the style. It's really cool. I love it. I love that feature. And then what else? I think that looks good. Oh wait, no, we forgot to change the decimals, so I'm gonna click it a few times, and I'm gonna just round it to the nearest whole number this time, and that looks pretty clean. And so already you can see that we're building like a pretty neat summary page right now. But obviously we're not done yet, because like we need to add color to this and make it a lot, like add more style to it, and yeah, but like we're going somewhere. We're getting somewhere. And so the next thing I want to do actually is I want to get the stats on the Grand Slam tournaments. And the Grand Slams are basically like the most important tournaments in the whole season. They're like worth a lot of points, and there's 4 of them. There's Australian Open, there's the French Open, which is also known as the Roland Garros, and then there's the US Open, and then there's the Wimbledon. And so those are like the most important events for players to rank high in the leaderboard. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna show I wanna like create like a table that shows the tournament name, and then I'm thinking that I wanna show like the winner of the tournament, the whole tournament, and then I also wanna show the ranking of that winner, if that makes sense. So here's what I mean by that. So I'm gonna say like the Grand Slam name, which is the tournament name basically. I'll say the winner name, and then the rank. And it's getting cut off here, so I'm gonna do that trick that I told you before. You hover between these columns and click a double click it, makes it bigger. Pretty cool. And then I'll call this, there was Australian Open, then was there French Open, Wimbledon, US Open. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new sheet called Grand Slam reference, and you're gonna see why I created this in just a moment. So I'm gonna do Control A, Control C, copy all that, and then paste it all in. And then oh yeah, I forgot, format as table, and then I'll just do that color. And so you'll see why I'm doing this. So I want to get the winner, so I'm gonna have to do some filtering. I'm gonna do some filtering right now. So I know that the tournament name is called Australian Open, the Grand Slam name. So I'm gonna deselect all of this, and then it's called Australian Open, which is right there. So I'm gonna check that, click OK, and then oh yeah, okay, this is looking good. And then we have to go to the round name, and then you can see that these are all the round names, but I only want to look at the final round, because that's like the winner of the finals is basically the winner of the whole tournament. So I'm going to deselect everything and click on the F, and then click OK. And then oh yeah, okay, it shows me the winner name, which was Nadal. And then you can see the loser name, which is Medvedev. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say equals. I'm just gonna make a reference, cell reference. So I'll just click on that cell and click enter. And then I'll also get the rank. So I'm gonna do the equal sign, and then I say, where's that rank? Rank. Let's see, wait, where is that? Oh, okay, it's right here, winner rank. It's 5. So at that time, Nadal was ranked 5, but I think he's ranked like 3 now, because like he won a lot of tournaments since last year. He's doing really well. And then so now we do French Open. The winner of that was go here and then go to tourney name and then French Open. French Open is also known as the Roland Garros, and I don't see French Open here, so I'm assuming that there's a Roland Garros option. Hopefully, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, Roland Garros. I click on that, and it gets me. It already filtered me the round, which is the finals. It gives me the loser name, which is Casper Ruud, and then the Nadal, the winner. And so Nadal also won this Grand Slam, which was really cool. I don't think he's ever lost the French Open before. Actually, no, I think he lost like 1 year, but like he's won like all of the French Opens because he's like really good on the clay court. But anyways, I'll go to here. I'll say equals, and then click on that, enter. And so he was 5th rank at that time. And then I'll get the winner name. I'll say equals, and then where's that? Okay, here it is. Okay, so now we do the same thing for these two. So I'm just gonna do them really quickly because I think you're getting the gist of this. So equals then. Oh wait, no, sorry, I gotta filter it out first. So I'm gonna go to here, tourney name, and then find the Wimbledon, which is somewhere here, and then I'll get the name, and then I'll get the rank. And then US Open, same thing. Filtered the data. Let's see, where's that? US Open, there it is. And the winner was Alcaraz. Reference that. And then the winner rank. He was ranked 4. I'm pretty sure he's ranked 1 now, but I think back then he was ranked number 4. And so yeah, that looks really good. So we got all the information in the table, and now all we need to do is we need to do some styling now. Like, we basically got everything, all the information that we need, but we need to make this a lot better because it's looking like all black and white. It looks kind of boring, you know. So we need to add some color to make it look more appealing. Okay, so I'm gonna change to the title because right now it looks kind of boring because it's just like bland black text. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna style it a bit. So first I'm gonna change the color of the cell, and to do that you click on this button and then you gotta choose the color that you want. So I'm just gonna, for now, I'm gonna go for like a, let's see, I guess I'll go for that color for now. I might change it later though. And then I'll bold that, and then I think it looks better with the white text, in my opinion. And then I want the title to cover like more of the first row, to cover more space. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the merge and center feature. And so to do that, I'm gonna highlight the columns A to F. Then I click on merge and center, and then automatically centers the text and it takes up the space, which is what we want. It's pretty cool. And then now I'm gonna add some headers for each of these sections that we have over here, just to make it look more organized, you know. And then so I'm gonna call this general stats, and then I'm going to I'm going to bold that, and then let's see, I'm gonna change the color of the cell by clicking on that one. I'm gonna use that color because that looks pretty good, and then I'll make the text bigger because it's a little bit small right now, so I'll make it 26 font size. So let's see, I'll make it white, and then I wanted to cover this space that I highlighted here, so I'm just gonna, to do that, I just click on merge center, automatically does it for me. It's really cool. And so now I'm gonna organize the winner loser length of match data. And so first off, I'm gonna move all the data down by a row, and you'll see why. And then I'm gonna move this down too by like over here, so that I can move this data down by 1. And that's because I want more space to have my header. And so I'm gonna call this header stats based on the surface type. And so I'm going to do the same thing, just gonna merge in center, change the color. I'm gonna use that one. You could use any one, but I prefer this color because I like blue. And then I'm gonna bold the text, make it white, and then make the font size bigger like that. And that looks a lot better now. And then I'm also gonna, I don't like how these things are on like the left side of the screen. I kind of want to make the text in like the center over here somewhere. And so to do that, again, I use the merge in center feature. So I highlight the cells, and then I click on merge in center. And so then I'll change the color, the text, and actually I'll leave it black this time because yeah, I like the black text here, so I'll leave it black, but you could do whatever you want with it. And then I'll do the same for the loser, but this time I'm just going to use the format painter feature. So I just click on this cell, and then I click on format painter, and then I click on the loser cell. And then when I do that, it's going to automatically change the style of the cell. It's really cool because like it saves you a lot of time. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the length of match cell, like that. And so yeah, it's looking really good right now. And then I'm gonna expand these cells or these columns a bit because I can make it bigger. So to do that, I'm gonna hover over between the column D and E, and I can double click it like that, and then automatically maximizes the space in the column, which is pretty cool. And then I'm gonna add a header for the data for the Grand Slams. So I'm gonna call this Grand Slam stats, and then I'm going to make this same color and then bold it, make it size 26, and then make it white. And then I use the merge in center again. So I highlight over columns A, B, and C, click on merge in center, and boom, it's done for you. And I'm actually gonna change these colors to like a lighter shade of blue because like this is kind of like a sub header, and this is like the main header, you know. So I'm gonna use a lighter color to like show the distinction, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna choose, I might do this, I'll go with this color, and then I'll do the same for this one, and then this header. And so it makes it like the distinction is more clear, that this is the main header and this is like the subheader. And then it's looking a lot better now, but one thing that we can do to make it look better is by adding borders between like these cells over here to make it more clear that it's a table. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the data, and then I'm going to click on Format as Table, and then I'm going to click on, you could do either color, it doesn't really matter, but I like the blue color or the aqua color, so I'm going to use this one, and then click OK. And so yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then one thing that I want is I want to have black borders on the column header. And so to add a border, you have to, like, there's like a square over here, you have to click on the drop down arrow next to it, then you click on more borders, and then I'm going to add the thickest style, the thickest line. You can choose anyone, but I want it to be clear, so I'm going to do the thickest one, and then click OK, and that looks pretty good. And so I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm going to add like a vertical border, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to highlight the hard clay and grass cells, go to border, go to more borders, and then click on the thickest line or whatever line you want, doesn't matter, and then click on the right side of this little screen over here. And then once you do that, you click OK, and yeah, that looks pretty good. You got that nice little vertical border. And so I'm gonna make this text, I'm gonna bold it because I like it bolded, and then I'm gonna change this, the hard clay and grass text, to white. So I'm gonna change this to white, and then use the format painter. I double click the format painter, and then I click on the cells that I want to format. It's a really cool feature. And so oh wait, when I did that, it added a border between the hard and clay. That's actually not what I want. I'm gonna Control Z real quick. Okay, so I think it added the border because there's a border on top of this cell over here. So I'm just gonna click on this cell first, change it to white, and then double click on Format Painter, and then click on the cells I want. And there we go, that's what I want. And this looks pretty good. Let's see. And I'll do the same for the other tables. So I'll do Format Painter, then do it here. And so did you see what I just did? Let me redo that real quick because I did that kind of fast. So I just highlighted everything and then clicked on Format Painter and then just clicked on that. So it saves me a lot of time, really cool. And then I'll do the same for the length of match table. So I'm going to highlight it, then click the Format Painter, and click on this one. And then, oh wait, no, it actually formatted these cells, but I don't want that. I think that's because this table has 2 extra columns. So let me undo real quick. Sorry about that. I'm going to highlight the 2 columns, and then do Format Painter, and then click on the surface button, and that looks pretty good. And then I think it gets cut off over here, so I'm going to double click between column B and C, double click that, and then you get a show. It shows the whole column, which is pretty cool. And then let's see what else. Okay, I'm gonna do that same thing for this table as well. So I'm gonna highlight 3 of the columns in the loser, or you could do the winner column or the winner table, it doesn't really matter. I'll highlight 3 columns of the loser table, click Format Painter, click on Grand Slam name, and it gets our table. But it forgot to highlight these ones because this table only has 3 rows in it. So I'm gonna actually undo that. Sorry about that. And then I'm just gonna do it manually. I'll just do highlight everything in this table, do Format as Table, and click on that. Click on the blue color, click OK, and that's what we want. And then I'll add the borders. Same process. And then let's see, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna bold this. I'll bold everything actually. So that looks pretty good. And then see what else we can do here. Okay, so in these tables, I'm gonna actually, like, if you click on one of the tables and then you go to the table design ribbon, I'm gonna check the first column option, because then it shows shows the different color, and that's what I want, because I want this color to be the cells in the surface. I want them to be a different color than the average aces, double faults, and the service games one, to show like the distinction in the two-way table, if that makes any sense. And so I'll do that. I'll do the same thing for the second table. I'll just use the Format Painter, do for there, and then I'll click on Format Painter, click on that, and that looks pretty good. Okay, that already looks really good now, but I actually want to edit this one now, the general stats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some borders around the total matches, because I want there to be like a difference. Like when someone else sees this summary sheet, I want there to be a difference between, I want to show a difference between the total matches and the total number of matches for each specific surface. And so to do that, I'm going to add a border around total matches with thick outside borders. So then I'm gonna bold the total matches, bold the number, and then I think that looks pretty good. Actually, one thing that bothers me is like there's a little white space here. I don't really like that because it's too much space. So I'm gonna actually copy and paste. So I'm gonna do Control X, the formula, and then I'm gonna paste it back in here just to move everything to the left side. So I'm gonna do Control X, Control V, and then Control X, Control V, and then now it messed up our AutoSum, so I'm just gonna delete that. Then click on, I'm gonna do Alt equals to do AutoSum, do Enter, and it gets me my total matches, and that looks better now. And so I'm gonna actually change the borders because there's no numbers in this cell anymore. So I'm gonna click on borders again to get rid of it. Wait, okay, erase border. Get rid of these borders. And then I'll start over again. So let's see. I'll hover over this one and then click on thick outside borders. So that looks a lot better. And another thing that bothers me is like there's like this extra blue space over here, like, but like there's no numbers below it. So I'm gonna make the coloring, I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna shrink it a bit. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm gonna click on this, click on Merge and Center again, and it's gonna look different now. It messed everything up, but that's okay. I'll fix it. So column C, I'm gonna make this white, like that, and then now I just do Merge and Center, and then it's back. It looks normal now. So yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to do? Oh yeah, this thing. This also kind of bothers me because like there's like no numbers, but then there's like we like added the shade of color there. So I'm gonna do the same thing like I did over here. I'm gonna shrink the color. So I'm gonna do Merge and Center, click on that again, and then make it white like that. And then I'm gonna Merge and Center only column A and B. And so, okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see. I'm actually gonna, I kind of want to make the title cell look a bit cooler than just like a boring color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click it, and I'm gonna show you how to add the gradient color fill. And like it looks really cool because like it's like a bunch of different shades of colors in the single cell. And so to do that, you gotta do right click the cell, then click on Format Cells, click on the fill, and then after that you click on Fill Effects. And so yeah, these are like the different shades you can do, and it shows you like a preview. I think we want to do it vertically because like the cell, we want to have it side to side. And so you can see in the sample, it's from white to left side to dark blue on the right side, and that's what we want. So you click on vertical and then click on OK. And so that looks really cool. But actually I'm gonna change it a bit again because the white is a little bit too bright for me. I don't really like it, but if you like it, you could use the color, but I'm gonna change it. So where's that? Format Cells, and then Fill Effects, Color 1, and then I'm gonna choose like a really light gray. Hopefully that looks okay. I think that looks, in my opinion, that looks better because it makes the text more readable. And so yeah, it looks pretty good. And then I'll make this a bit bigger. You can adjust the height of the row by dragging it up and down. And then I'm going to get an image from the internet. So I already searched this up. Like if you search up ATP Tor logo and then you go to images and then click on this one, and then I use this one because it looks pretty cool. And you can choose any image that you want, but I like the first image. It looks pretty cool. And so I'm going to do copy image and then go to Excel, then paste it, and it's over here. It's really big, but I'll make it smaller. And then let's see, I think that looks pretty good. I'll make the height a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna get rid of the ATP Tor because the image basically says it. So do like ATP Tor, then make it a bit wider. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. So yeah, we're done now because we styled it. It looks cool, and we added all the borders. And oh wait, no, one thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these arrows over here because we don't really need these drop down arrows. So I'm just gonna table design, click on the uncheck the filter button, and then that should do it. And also I forgot to mention that you need to click on ignore error for these numerical values. And so yeah, now that looks pretty good. So now we finished the project. I hope this was helpful for you and you learned something new. And so like I'll give you some challenge prompts that you can do if you want to like further extend your learning rather than just copying what I did. So let me go back to the dataset and come up with some ideas. Let's see. Okay. So maybe you can, instead of like making data based on the surface type, maybe you can, let's see, what else is there? Maybe you can make stats based on like the tournament level, because there's different tournament levels here. So that's one thing you can do. Like instead of having the average number of aces based on like the surface, you could do average number of aces based on the tournament level. Or you could do another idea that you can do in this sheet is you can add on to this table over here. So for each of the winner and the loser, you can add more information, like first serve in, like you can get the average number of first serves that were in based on the surface type. Or you could do like the average number of the break points saved based on the surface type. You know, like you should try to play around with the data a bit more, have some fun with it, because like the more you play around with the data, then the better you're gonna get at learning Excel. And so yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I know this is a bit long, so I'm gonna provide timestamps in the video so that you could jump around instead of watching the whole thing from beginning to end. It makes it easier for you to navigate the video. And so yeah, if you want to see more content on Excel, then I hope you hit the subscribe button. Stay up to date. It helps out the channel a lot. And so thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.